Check, check, 1, 2. What's happening, everybody? Hope y'all taking it easy. You guys are having a good... what is it? A waxing gibbous moon. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going into right now. I've, yeah, kind of, yeah, I always dig, any, like any space point of view, like horoscopes, I don't know, like, I'll go look up like a specific thing and just put like horoscope or astrology, and I'll try and read like from different sources like what their points of views are, and it's like, oh man, like so many of them don't match up. you know but like once in a while I will find one where it's just like, hey, like I like how you're putting everything, you know what I mean, like, because for me it's like like full moons and stuff, like how like statistics, how they say like more happens on a full moon kind of deal, which I'm gonna look up right now, like full moon, what would you do? You'd be like full moon, like crimes and energy. Let's put that. Full moon, crimes and energy. We should put like study. I always do that, like putting just looking up studies, like seeing what we figured out as human race. Says full moon and crime. Yeah, the period of study covered was 1978. It was like, oh, here we go. Yeah, this is the study. So it's oh wow, that's actually really cool. I didn't think they would. That's awesome. I didn't think they would have a study about it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I did though. Like, I knew they had studies, but like not like a study. Like, this is British Medical Journal, volume 289, and it's full moon and crime. That's awesome. It's like abstract, the innocence of crimes reported at 3 police stations in different towns, 1 rural, urban, and industrial, was studied to see if it varied with the day of the lunar cycle. That's so cool. Hell yeah. Check that out. It's like bmj.com, British Medical Journal. Yeah, but I'm doing a podcast, so I can't just like read it all. But it's like just like, well, I mean, why not though? It's like, let's get to the end. Let's see what the conclusion was. That's what you do. Results. Where study 183 full moon days occurred during the period, and 256 crimes were committed on those days. All minus full moon days committed on 186. 7. Gosh, there's so much info. All minus. Using that positive cells. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just like trying to read this. And testing the goodness. Oh, come on. This was highly significant. Wow. Okay. I was just trying to read the result. Anyway, so it's like like that though, like um just a pattern anyway. um but like the astrology stuff, it's just like, uh, or with a lot of stuff, it's just like, oh, look it up, like reword how you're looking it up, and then you know get like a context of like where the landscape is leaning, I guess. But anyway, I what was I talking about? Yeah, just but sometimes those astrology, there's like people who have like some good stuff to say. It's like really balanced. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and talk, and I was just like, oh, um, I haven't done it in like a week, the podcast, and I was like, or whatever, a week or two, and I was like, oh, I don't have to have like that much structure all the time, especially with like a solo cast, and um, pretty much I was like, oh well, like obviously I'll talk about something, if it comes to mind and everything. And then I was like, oh well, there's that thing that popped in my head the other, like yesterday or whatever, or the day before, and I was just like, oh man, like that's something to talk about on a podcast. It, just, and whatever, like the past couple podcast episodes I've done, like the topics have been like meditation, and I guess that's kind of like what I, that's something I'd like to touch up on. But when I was trying to think of like, oh, what was that thing that I thought of, and then I like forgot what it was, because it was like it was just a, you have a good idea, and then it's like, I don't know, you have like a really good, like, it's almost like foreign, or it's like, in a part of you that, I don't know, you don't really, I don't know, it's just like, it was just a good idea. And and it's like, I know everybody's like not the same, like in their mind, like there's so much kind of going on, and you can like, you can simplify it and like chill out, like figure out like your switches and triggers, and like just like figure, just figure out how to chill and like navigate through life, like, or god, maybe. And it's like, I don't think that's like talked about enough, but like the city life, or like the, I don't know, maybe it's like the average, maybe what I see is like, oh, it's the average person's life, like that they're like probably isolated in a lot of the ways that they're themselves, if that makes sense, like the best, whatever, you know what I mean, like the best version of themselves, of like expressing all the best, or like this passion and then this passion, it's like a process. And it's like the average person who's like working 9 to 5, and then they got like life stuff to do like outside of work, unless they're getting paid like a lot of money. But it seems like, here in Southern California, like right outside of LA, that like the average person is probably pretty isolated in a lot of ways. Maybe it is just like isolation by itself. Like maybe it's either they're isolated or not, but it's like I don't know. Maybe if you're not expressing, you know, stuff you like to do, I don't know. For me, it's like yeah, it's a lot. But anyway, it's like for the average person, it's like I don't think that's talked about enough. Like city life, like like it's almost as if you live in a city more than a certain population or something, like you should have like some type of therapist if you're not like, well, if you don't know what to do to like take care of yourself, your like inner self, or navigate through, learning the right processes of taking care of yourself. And anyway, so yeah, it's just like I know not everybody's the same, but for me, for like probably like I'm maybe pretty heady, and I'm like really interested in like heart stuff lately, like just doing research and like um just going through like healing and stuff, and it's like going through things where it's like, oh, you feel like I am consciously aware of like a heaviness or something, on my heart. And it's like um yeah, just what is it like? Yeah, and so anyway, I'm just super interested in like, or and like when that like heaviness like goes away, or and stuff like that. It's just like, what is going on, like, oh, man, and then it always like makes me think like what, just just because somebody is a professional doesn't a professional in either like a mental health aspect or um a medical aspect. It's like I don't know. It's for somebody to tell anybody that they're, I don't know, like permanently like something, especially mental health. Like that's like my, I don't know, like biggest one of my biggest things I ponder about, kind of thing. It just comes up, and I'm just like, man, like for, like it's kind of like when I was working in an office, and um I had to or my knees started like hurting, and I wasn't like working my legs out or anything a lot. I wasn't doing anything too active, and I was working like two jobs and stuff. And then I was like, well, and I didn't have medical insurance. And then so I look up, yeah, I looked it up, like, oh, like how can I get rid of this like knee pain, you know? Because I kept like pivoting, um, like just the same way over and over again, like go to the printer, and then my knees started popping, and then they started hurting, and then I looked it up, and it was like to do like squats and stuff, and like work out all the muscles around it, and apparently like um like straightens it out, or like just straightens everything out, I would guess. And it totally did it, and I was like, wow, like that pain was going on for a while, and I, consider myself like super young still. So it's like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I was, and that was a few years ago too. But just like that, like if by doing all the right things, like you like you like even out like whatever, ease that pain, any pain that you're going through. Like what a good analogy, you know? It's so good. Like, oh man, and just for that not to be like, I don't know exactly. But anyway, for like that stuff's been interesting. Anyway, yeah, back to that. It's like, okay, so I like wanted to come on here and talk about something, and then like I was like, oh, that'll be good. And what it was about was that was that exactly, which is um that, yeah, geez, exactly, like another preface or whatever. Like in meditation, um it's like I can vibe with people when when I would imagine that they don't really know what meditation is, because it's like I will and I won't, it's it's, and I think everybody's like that, or whatever. There's got to be other people that are like that. And it's like I'll get it, and I'll just be like, "Oh my gosh, like why don't I do this more?" It's really cool. And then when I and then when I'm like, I don't know, like really heady, out of my heart, shit, out of my mind sometimes, like just not myself, like um I'll be like, oh, I need to meditate, and then I'm just like, what? Like what is that? Like why? And it's almost, I don't know. It's hard to, like I'd hate, yeah, I'd hate to attempt to put words on it, but it's almost like a place, It's like, oh man, it's really cool. Or space. I like that one better. It's like a space, and it's like, um, however you view life, you're probably gonna get some type of divine feeling past some threshold. So it's like, I don't know. It just, I, when I hear people talk about stuff like that, like I'm like, man, I'm familiar with this stuff, and y'all are going way too fast. Like I don't know. And for me, it's just like, oh well, like I would imagine somebody would appreciate, yeah, just whatever. That's why, again, that's a fucking podcast. That's why you do it, because you think people appreciate, you know, um, you and stuff. Anyway, so it's like meditation. I wanted to, on some episode, it might as well be this one, talk about, but before I continue with what I wanted to hop on here and talk about, is meditation, man. It's like, what is it for somebody who is really foreign to it, and can't wrap their head around like what's going on when somebody's talking about it, like can't like hear them out, and sorry if there's like a weird noise. But what is that? My bad for that. But I'm gonna keep going. Um, hmm. What is that? Jeez. Anyway, so meditation. It's like for me, it was just like recently too, where I found out how to like explain it better to myself than like I don't know, just from books like than books and stuff, whatever, and articles just like saying like talking about meditation and like ways to do it and stuff, and it's like I don't know, sometimes your ego's got like a really good grip on you, and you're just like you can't even like the ego can't even comprehend like presence and like meditation or whatever. It doesn't seem like it. But I think Eckhart Tolle says that. But like with meditation, it was like recently, it's just like okay, well, I found out a good like visualization about it, and it's basically like you're going down a river and you're about to go over a waterfall, and there's like a tree hanging. There's like a small like whatever sapling or whatever growing right on the edge of the waterfall in the middle of the river, in the middle of it. And then you're like going and you're about to fall over the waterfall, and then you grab the tree and then you just hold it. And then like imagine just like all the water rushing. Like I don't know if yeah, I don't know if y'all have ever been to like White River rafting, whatever, um, up in Oregon, or anything like that. Like just feeling, or the ocean too. Just like you feeling like that really like powerful motion and stuff. But just like with the waterfall, it's just like you grab it and then you're just like not gonna go over the waterfall, but it's like all that rushing water is like your thoughts, and um you can just watch them go over the you just go over just like it's like go stop, just like stop yourself, and then like watch all that the momentum like fly over like a waterfall, of thoughts and stuff. And then you know what I mean? And so it's like so you stop, and then it's like you're you have these thoughts, and like the more comfortable you are with just like like releasing them and letting them go and just being like thanks for coming. um I don't know, it's like you'll you'll first realize, I don't know, like I realized that whatever the past like few days, it's just like, oh, like man, don't I kind of realized that like of how like seriously you take your thoughts isn't doesn't even do it justice. To me, it was just like, oh, my thoughts are God. Like my thoughts are like that. You know what I mean? It's just like you I don't know, it's just like you fall in love with like your view whatever on life. For me, I guess like I fell in love, and it's just like, oh, then it's just like oh, like then I yeah, not really trying to label it too much, but anyway, it's just anyway, it's just like you just stop, right? You just stop and just watch them go, right? And and for me it was just like, oh well, what if there was a good idea in there, like um because like for me I'll like test my whatever, just like growing up doing mental memory, just weird stuff like um just paying attention inside of myself or whatever. And um so uh, the like the meditation, the river, exactly, like my bad. The It's just like, oh, like I'll I'll catch myself so many times like I'll meet somebody and I'll hear their name, and it's like the fact that I want to remember their name so much or whatever, or that I put pressure on myself for it. I'm just like, oh, like remember their name, remember that, and I always forget their name when I like care about it. When I'm just like, like what was their name, like, oh, like, and 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 sometimes I would say like, oh, like I'll joke around and just be like, oh, I just need to like be embarrassed and ask a second time before like I end the conversation, or we end the conversation, and then I'll remember it. But sometimes it's like that they'll even correct me and tell me their correct name and stuff, and like um and I'll still forget it, and I'm just like, man, what is up with this, like this whole you caring about it so much, and and then like you operate like the opposite, and so I'm like, so with like meditation and stuff, it's just like, oh no no no, like that was a good thought, but I'm doing something right now, I'm meditating. And what I realized was that when you get a good like meditation session of just like letting thoughts go, letting like regrets of the past go, and um like attachment to outcomes of the future go, like everything stays. And I've also learned that I'm pretty sure writing, like doing a couple pages of just um what is it, free consciousness streaming writing. I don't I still need to look that up. And but or more morning pages I learned from the artist's way. And I think that like really helps with the meditations like a lot. Like you don't in when you like initiate like a meditation or whatever, and you're just breathing, like you don't have any of like the BS, um irrelevant like thoughts. So like you just get a lot out from the writing, and a lot of just um I do think that like writing compared to typing, like writing, it's like as little as time as you think is going by, like that time that you have to take to write a word out compared to typing it seems like you stick with the idea longer, like I'll type up like a whole thing super fast, and I'm just like, I'll have to reread it, like I don't even know what I just wrote. It's just like I knew it was I just knew it was good. I was just like catching it out of the ether. But yeah, like I just anyway, so what what I was Hang on. Um, Earlier I was just I should hop on the podcast and I should I should just talk and I'll talk about something good and you know what will happen is I'll remember what I was thinking of the other day. And the other day I was I was fucking thinking of this exact thing. I was just like, man, um, whenever I forget some, or yeah, exactly, just full circle. It's just like whenever I forget stuff, whenever I just relax and I like don't, feed pressure onto it, and I just like go on, it'll just pop right back into my head. And I was just like, man, like I was just like, there's so many lessons that I've been learning from that because um whatever, it's like if uh if I partied too hard when I was younger, or if I've got some weird genetics, it's like you know what I mean? It's just like I'm learning about me, and so like I don't know, it's just like I just think like I don't know when you're paying when you I don't know exactly hopefully this resonates with somebody, but just something that I've been pondering, and just like how and then I even like threw back on the audio tape, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, and um yeah, exactly, just like that vibe kind of going on for me right now. It's like just how to I don't know. I love the term get a grip on things. you know? Just yeah, exactly. Like you know what the right things to do are, what they are to do. Like you do them and like things will, figure themselves out. It's like just keep and whatever that is for you, it's like geez, like I'm like I used to be like super whatever, not prideful, but just stoked. I was just stoked about when I started becoming like conscious about my food and stuff. And like man, but with that came like the worries too, like kind of being immature about a lot whatever, but still trying to grow into it, like still trying to be connected to my food. And I would just I would also like freak myself out about a lot of stuff. And after like years of that, learn and also learning to stop trying to convince people how to eat. Um, years after that, I was just like, dude, like sometimes I make myself sick by just thinking of things so negatively, and um, recently for me, it's just like I just need calories. I just I could probably prep better, but I'm just like I'm just going, still just trying to do everything. Like I'm already getting a little tired, but like I had class today. I had an exam, and I think I kicked butt on it, which I'm stoked. And I've been doing like whatever, just doing a lot of stuff, and then it's like, okay, I didn't, or I'll be like writing, like passing out, and I'm just like, I have to like do at least 2 pages of morning letters like before I go to bed, and or journaling or whatever you want to call them. Check them out, learn about them, but just like, shit, that too, actually. If you live in a city, get a therapist or journal like every day for a couple days. And it like the journaling, you got to know it's just like you don't have to care about what you're writing. It's just right. And then for me, it's just like, I swear I even wrote it. I was just like, you know what? Like writing makes me feel like someone or something hears me out right now. Like it's hearing me out, and I appreciate it. Like just untangles like that too. It's just like you write, or you do talk therapy and stuff. Maybe not talk therapy, but like writing, it's just like you write, and then like in the middle of your like sentences or your ideas, it's just like you'll have some, I don't know, maybe like more pure, like of your consciousness or whatever. You're just like, ooh, like that's my voice, like I, or whatever, like that's my third eye or something, my pineal gland opening up in my mind, and just like feeling a sense of yourself more, because the chitter chatter is gone. And anyway, um but yeah, and just like, huh, and I wonder, it's like not everybody needs to do all the same things. um maybe meditation, maybe that is a thing. Everybody, that is a one size. It's just like, do any meditation, do like for me, like, I'll sometimes I click into meditation better like staring with my eyes open, like that. It's called like the lion, the like tiger's eye, or the tiger's meditation or something. I read it a long time ago, but I was like, when I read it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad, because sometimes I felt like I would get in a really good meditation with my eyes open and just kind of like be staring off, and in my mind, like I'd be pretty deep, but that deep inside of me, I'd be like, I hope nobody sees me, like just spaced out. And then I'd get a little like, the fear of criticism, cringe or whatever, and you know, but there's a bunch of different meditations, different things out there. It's like hold your breath for 10 seconds, then start breathing normally and just listen to your breath. Like that seems like just like a basic meditation. But then there's like specific meditation, like not even, I shouldn't say it like that. It's like there's meditations about specific things, like where you sit, like it's almost like that idea or something's like a, I don't know, planet, or like a ball of light, I don't know. And it's like just meditating around it, just observing it, being present with it, accepting it, like processing it. Oh my gosh, like just all the processes that are going on inside of you. It's like, give yourself a break, like seriously. Like it's like when I stopped listening to music for like a couple months, like I stopped watching TV, and I was just like, oh, some like some a lot of this. I stopped listening to podcasts, and I was like, some of this stuff is like like compulsive seems like a good word for it, for all this. Like it's maybe yeah, like obsessive, like man, I just need to be I just need to be digesting. I just need to be digesting. I just need to be bettering myself. I just, I need to work on the business. I need to go to work. All this stuff. I need to go to class. All this stuff. And um, just let yourself catch up with yourself. It's like, and I knew this stuff was like beneficial. Like I have tasted it before. Like I said earlier, like presence and meditation are the best words for it. But it's like I'll get it and I won't get it. It's like like when you like tap into yourself or whatever, when you fall back into yourself and you're just like, ooh, like I'm a I'm like consciousness, like with the body, like with thoughts, with like a heart, and like I'm not my thoughts, and I'm not necessarily like my body. It's just like they're tools, like from a deeper perspective. And um when you got a lot of, yeah, there's always like a lot of stuff going on, like because it just like creeps in. It's just like resistance, or like whatever. And it's crazy because I know that's like the least one size fits all thing ever, is like resistance or the ego or all those things that like are kind of each other. It's like they will manifest in like a way they've never manifested before, but in like whatever, like the perfect way to convince you to listen to it, kind of deal. It's like, and I'm just trying to learn all this stuff, like, and it's not like a, I mean, I just say that like because it's like I'm really interested, like I'm really like the inner journey, um whatever. It's just the cool, it's, I don't know, it's just like, well, it's, I mean, you gotta do it, you know and just do the right things. I'm gonna sign off on that. Just find out what those things are for you. Know that something's gonna come up, whether it's something inside of you manifesting it, like figuring a way out to make it happen behind the scenes without your mind knowing it, or it's something obviously in the world that is resisting it. But just keep on doing those like right things, like whatever makes you tick, and um do the, like, like live inside out, like don't live outside and, oh, I'm gonna use my inner stuff for like external outcomes. It's just like switch it around. be like, I swear, like for me, it was like growing up, like meeting different people. It'd be like, oh, like as if I'm like looking at a light bulb, and I'm just like that person is just a light, like something. You're just like, they are radiating somehow, and you're affected by them. So anyway, it's just just figure out those right things for you. I'm pretty sure if you're not reading and writing and stuff all the time, then a therapist is a great idea. Like I think for anybody, they should try it or whatever. Find somebody that helps them get their inner objectives found, or whatever, like see them come to fruition and stuff. And yeah, it's like I'm going. I think I'm gonna go on Friday to my first session, so I think that'll be interesting. I'm just glad it did get pushed out because, man, you know how like life, it's like wait, 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 wait. Well, I'm just like coasting, and I'm like, ooh, like I could have used them at a low, but they weren't available. So I was just, or they were all too expensive, and I was just like, geez, dude, like I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I'm trying to be patient about it all. I'm tired of seeing patterns, and I want to figure them out. And then it's like every day that goes by that I do the work, and I'm taking care of myself and everything. It's like, oh man, like I answered, I swear, some days it's like 100 questions that I wonder about, and I'm just like, dude, like I answered that, myself, or whatever, however you view it. You caught that shit and you applied it, and I'm just like, wow, well, now I'm like way more objective, other than like venting mode, and not even mode. It's like that. Yeah, exactly. I was just like, I was wondering if I would want to talk about that, and I was like, I would, but I don't know how. But it's really like venting. It's not even a mode. It's like I felt every time I vented, I felt like I needed to, and then it was like with different people, I was just like, holy shit, like I know I'm a broken record, but man, I feel like I need to vent it again. And then it's like, I was just trying to like, meet my needs, so I felt the need to do it, so I did it. And then it was just like after like the 10th time or whatever, however many times it was, I was just like, okay, like I'm I'm not sure how far I'm getting with just venting. So it's like, let me, whatever. I was constantly trying to be objective and find solutions, and the venting, I guess it seemed like I say it's a broken record, but it wasn't. It was really like I was genuinely trying to look for like some specific answers from people I looked up to. And then but yeah, it's just like I wonder if venting it's just like how healthy that is for you. Like I I felt like something was lifted off of me when somebody would let me vent, and I really, made when they would make me feel heard, because it was like 9 times out of 10, when somebody made me feel really heard and felt. But um yeah, it's just like talking, and like talking with a therapist. I was just like, dude, like just to vent, I'm I was like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, a therapist is like just probably ready for like, you know, I would imagine not everybody is like all doing inner work and stuff all the time. So it's just like, I don't know. It just seems, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, exactly. It's also expensive, so it's just like for it's kind of throws me off a little bit. I'm just like, okay, like I need to like make this super productive and get like some point of views and yeah. Anyway, well, I'm gonna sign off on that. I still got homework and stuff to do. I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. Fucking yeah. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. All right. Take it easy. Much love.